Episode 2 of Monsters starts with the sound of gunshots and more context around Lyle and Erik's night after killing their parents. They returned in silence before eventually putting on a facade and pretending to be distraught. Two detectives, Zoella and Linehan, show and take the boys to the police station. The duo whisper in the back about who will be interviewed first, and it turns out to be Erik. While he gives his side of the story, which is completely fabricated of course, the detectives figure out that the deaths were around 10 PM and the call made by the brothers at 11:47 PM. The thing is, the mob would have left Kitty alive, and the detectives doubt the validity of the hit itself, given the mafia aren't as sloppy as the crime scene is. After giving their statements, Erik and Lyle are allowed to head home. Unfortunately, Erik claiming in his interview that the room was full of smoke doesn't add up to the fact that there's a window blown out. In terms of motivation, so we're led to believe that there's no inheritance money for either of them after an argument in the past with Jose. This flashback, unwittingly coupled with a potential lead in a porn producer shot 9 times after being at the house earlier in the day, seems to let Lyle and Erik off the hook, at least for now anyway. The pair decide to splash the cash, living their best lives, while the detectives are desperate to solve the case. You see, the media are hounding them for answers, and every day that passes, it's more pressure piling up on them. Murders like this just don't happen in Beverly Hills, and distrust in the police is growing every single day. The chief demands results in this case as all their asses are on the line. However, the real kicker here for the brothers happens to be the will itself. They know that it may well say on there that they don't get any money. Erik is rattled and troubled about this while Lyle shrugs it off, believing they can handle it. Carlos, their brother-in-law, happens to be the executor of the will here, and when he flies in the next day, they manage to get the safe open. It turns out there is no will inside. Instead, it's the maid, Flor, who finds it while cleaning up their house one day. Within this document, it confirms that the pair do, in fact, get everything. Fast forward 2 months and we catch up to the moment we ended episode 1. Erik doesn't really want to kill his therapist, and Lyle eventually agrees to his brother's concerns. However, they need to keep the guy close and make sure he doesn't talk. Back at the station, the detectives run through a series of different scenarios around who killed Jose and Kitty Menendez. Although there are theories related to different gangs, a lot of the officers believe that this falls on Lyle and Erik. They bemoan not checking the brothers' fingers for gunpowder residue that night before receiving a tip-off from one of Erik's close friends. Remember the Billionaires Boys Club story we mentioned in episode 1? Well, it turns out Erik had been writing a screenplay about killing his parents and confided in his best friend Craig around this. Craig works with the police and agrees to meet Erik for dinner that night. He's wearing a wire here, and the idea is to basically try and catch Erik out with a confession. Erik doesn't fall for it though, and the whole conversation is pretty tense as Erik refuses to open up. Dr. Azil has an insurance policy in place though, when the brothers show back up at therapy that night. He reveals he's going to be recording their sessions and also confirms he has their confessions hidden in several safety deposit boxes. If anything happens to him, then they're going to be leaked. He has the brothers right where he wants them. Unfortunately, the wild card here is his mistress, Judalon. She doesn't feel safe at home, so she manages to talk Azil into letting her stay at his place. Damn, talk about a powder keg situation. Inevitably, everything blows up when Judalon starts rearranging his furniture, has mad mood swings, and even tells Azil's daughter that she's going to replace her mother. Azil has had enough and kicks her out, but she threatens him with exposing the brothers. And that is precisely what she does, as she heads straight to the police station to reveal everything. With the will sorted and the brothers seemingly in the clear, all of this now falls back on Dr. Azil and his mistress, Judalon. She is definitely going to be the downfall of these two, especially as she doesn't really have as much to lose as Azil does. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Azil handing over his business card too is indicative of how he's opportunistic and believes he can use these boys to his benefit. As for the brothers, seeing the stark differences between Erik and Lyle is absolutely fascinating, especially how they've both reacted to the death of their parents. They always say it's the quiet ones you need to watch out for, and that much is especially true when it comes to Erik. Unfortunately for them, it seems like the police are now going to be intensifying their search for the brothers, but what does that mean for Dr. Azil and Judalon's safety? Guess we'll have to find out in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.